Right, the pre-show antics, and we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, one and all, ladies and gents, to a brand new live Saturday edition of the Extra Point. Mr. P.O. Colter is in the house, and you know if I'm in the house, then flanked to my right is my right-hand woman, our international sports correspondent, all the way from the Dominican Republic, Miss Tasha T. Sizzle. What's going on, T. Sizzle?
Oh, nothing. Just another lazy Saturday.
Oh, wait a
One
minute.
more
Yeah,
thing.
normally you don't have lazy Saturdays. Either you're building a house, or you're at the pool, or you're doing something of that nature. It's just a lazy day today.
Well, I am going to go by later on today because we have to do a little grocery shopping, pick up a few odds and ends. But one thing I want to point out, because there's no transparency between us and our friends, our viewers, our listeners.
Right.
This is a disclaimer. Duct tape is a lie. I heard
Duct
people
tape
say
is
you
a
can
law.
tape your they say you can tape your whole car together with duct tape. Well, why the ish ain't skin on my damn headphone?
You got duct tape by Dre.
Duct tape by Dre. Now, mind you, I've had these. I dropped them, and this side broke, so it just hangs.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and this is the second series, so they're very, very old headphones. They just always worked. So
Okay.
it's
So
really time to upgrade. I don't know if I'm going to get Beats because Beats are very, very expensive. I may be getting some JBLs or something a little more affordable right now. But yes, so people, if you see this, is I done Jimmy rigged it.
who's get you some Ray J's? Can't you get those at Ross? No, no Ray J's. Oh, okay, all right. Well, then just get a sports bra. So one of them ain't hanging. Just lift and tuck them right there around the earlobe area, and we're gonna be all good. And speaking of which, our show today is each and every week is brought to you by
May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. You can get your Colombian, your Brazilian, and your Honduran blend coffee. All fresh. Oh, one more thing. She actually has the coffee beans. So if you want to freshly grind your own coffee, you can get the coffee beans. But if not, it's freshly grounded by my daughter, Denise, and we would appreciate your business and your support. Young entrepreneurship, people always say they want positivity from the youth. We want
yes,
to support her to help her stay positive.
yes. And she says she has her own coffee beans to grind, and ain't nothing wrong with a little coffee grind. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong.
I feel
Like we're gonna say coffee grinds. All right. Before we get the show started, we have a jam-packed show. Tasha's seat will be hotter than ever today. Got a ton of questions to ask her. But before we do, we want to give a shout out to a friend of the family, a friend of the show, a dear lifelong friend, Miss Diana Fernandez, who's celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Steve.
Hey, Steve. Go, Steve. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Batting contest. You in first place.
Want to send a shout out to my mama AP Colter checking in. My sister that says she don't see nothing wrong with a little coffee
Little coffee
grind.
grind.
All
K
right,
cups coming soon. K cups coming soon.
K Cups coming soon for you, AP Culture. Now, on a serious note, as we celebrate the life of a friend, we also want to make sure that we don't miss this opportunity today to appreciate the gift of life. As 20 years ago on this day, thousands upon thousands of people lost their lives in a tragic, tragic fashion. 9/11 was one of those things, whether you're male, female, black, white, trans, straight, bi, whatever, red state, blue state, we were all shocked and horrified and devastated by the events that occurred 20 years ago today. Tasha, real quick, do you remember where you were and what you were doing 20 years ago today when the planes hit the towers?
Oh, most definitely. I was in the car driving Sasha to school
Oh, wow.
at David
And now she
Wilson.
has her own business. Time flies.
Yeah, I mean, I was driving her to school. She was, I think, she's a year behind because of her birthday. So she may have been kindergarten at that time. No, you were not at Holly Tree. You were at David Lipscomb. You were 5 years old. See,
Let the girl
giving
be at
wrong
Holly Tree.
information.
Let the girl be at Holly Tree.
No, she 20 years ago, because she'll be 26. 20 years ago, she was on her way. We were on Granny White Pike, and I was listening to Tom Joyner, and Tom Joyner said, "Oh, there's been a plane crash in New York," but dropped Sasha off at school and went on to work, but had no idea until I got to work, and everyone's faces were just. That's when the magnitude of what actually happened hit us.
Right. My sister said she was at home sick with the flu, a sophomore at St. Cecilia. I was working at a cell phone company, and I get a call from my mother telling me to turn on the TV, turn on the because she's always going to be first up on the news. And at first I thought, okay, a plane crashed into a building. That's tragic. Yeah. But when the second one hit, that's when everything changed that day. And as my mom says, they were on the couch on 16th, down with the plot watching. Yep. Yeah. And she called me and told me to turn it on. And my boss, who never, ever, ever does anything but made us work, pulled a TV out into the front, and we got no work done that day. We just watched television that whole day. It was a crazy, crazy day. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years ago. But our hearts and our prayers still go out to the families of those who've never recovered bodies, things of that nature. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you go about your day-to-day, hey, we still here. We can start from there and keep it rolling. So let's talk a little sports. As we're decked out in our Michigan garb today, because there's a big game tonight that we will get into, we want to send a shout out to one of our Michigan brethren, Mr. Christopher Weber, who's going into the Basketball Hall of Fame today. But it led me to a question, T-Sizzle, and I don't mean to be like this, but I got to ask, because when you're in the booth, you got to tell the truth. Is Chris Webber a Hall of Famer?
Chris Webber with Sacramento and everything that they did, yes. Because we all know that year, technically they beat the Lakers in that series. There was a few questionable calls in that game. Sacramento should have been going to the finals that year. And it's not being biased. The impact that Chris Webber had in his first, 4 or 5 seasons. Mm-hmm. I can lean towards yes, because I think because when we think Hall of Fame, we think of a lifelong career, everything that they have done throughout their career. Like you may say someone like Vince Carter, who has never won a championship, is he a Hall of Famer? Hell yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Most definitely.
But he's never, he's 2 finals. He hasn't, he didn't go to the finals that year. They lost, but I think comparable to others that are in there, he may not be as high up, but I think the impact that he had is what's getting him into the Hall, not necessarily his performance, per se.
You won me over with Vince Carter, because the one thing I was thinking of was no college titles, no NBA titles. How can you stack that up to a Kobe, a LeBron, or Magic, or Isaiah? And then when you start thinking about the Vince Carters, who's definitely going to get in first ballot, his career is very comparable to him and the Tracy McGrady's and people of that nature. So, okay, there we go. Shouts out to Brandon Lewis checking in. OU in the house now.
Boomer.
Boomer Sooner. We see you in the building now. T-Sizzle, last Thursday, a couple of days ago, about 48 hours ago and some change, there was a massive opening game in the NFL. Well, one Mr. Dakota Rain Prescott climbed out of that casket with his church socks on, slid into them cleats, walked out there on the field after 333 days of inactivity, and dropped 400 yards and a few touchdowns on the reigning defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, my question to you is Dak back and are them boys back? Is it time for me to play We Them Boys today? Can we play We Them Boys? Are they back? Are we back in the Big D?
Now, I'm going to correct you. His name is actually Rain Dakota.
Is it R-E-I-G-N?
Rayne. I think that's how he spells it.
Who was he? Reggie Ray?
Sir, exit.
And it was, Stephanie. It was a great season opener. As you were saying, Tasha.
Dak looked phenomenal. I have never doubted Dak. And I don't know if I sent this to you, but I read this about 2 weeks ago about, you look at all the quarterbacks that were in that same draft. He is the only one, the ones that were taken ahead of him, he is the only one that is still with the same team and the only one that has a viable career.
Mm-hmm. And he's the only one that's going to win a Super Bowl out of the whole bunch, because what I saw was him go toe-to-toe with the greatest quarterback penciled in that people said of all time, outplayed him. If it wasn't for that damn kicker, y'all better be glad my mama's on here right now. On the kicker. The kicker.
If I could just take it, just take it.
The kicker cost Dak Prescott a signature win for his career.
Yes.
On national television, nobody else watching. Dallas went into Tampa Bay and put them paws on the Bucks. Now
they did, and like I told you, I said the kicker left 10 points out there at least. He missed the extra point and missed 3 field goals. But again, to contrast what you're saying, compare and contrast against him and Brady. You know, people have been carrying Brady from it now. Let's just get that out there. Dak played one of the best games that I've ever seen him play outside of Davis Stadium.
Okay.
He did a really, really good job. And I was glad to see him. But it was Ezekiel Elliott who did not show up as well. And the kicker.
Oh, he was a no-show. He was a no-show. Now, I think that could have been
just
a little
got
bit
all
more
that
by
money.
Yeah, now, he did get the money, but I will say he did trim down this offseason. But when you're looking at Ndamukong Suh, when you're looking at them big hogs they have on the front line, when you look at the fact they were number 1 against the run last year, and you were missing your best offensive guard in Travis Frederick, maybe they wanted to just kind of get it on the outside with their great receivers. And I thought that that they had a great game plan. Speaking of Brandon is a writer down here, a sports writer down here in Dallas for the Dallas Express. Make sure you link that in the comments so people can go and check out your work. We will definitely have you on the show. He did do a great breakdown of that game. So make sure you drop the link in there. And yes, Mama Dak did his thing. For them to win going forward, they will need much more out of Zeke than they got. I think the backup Tony Pollard had more rushing yards than him in that game. So we have to get better there. But let's flip this conversation over to the other side. Could this possibly mean that Tampa Bay isn't the juggernaut we thought they were going to be heading into the season? Do you think they're just going to run roughshod like we thought maybe 72 hours ago before that game? Well,
again, as long as that Tampa defense and Todd Bowles keep calling a heck of defensive schemes or what have you, they'll do okay. Brady, like I said, is being carried, and not to go on the defense or B or now I give it to you straight, no chaser.
Right. That's what
tight end. The tight end is the white quarterback savior. You think about it. White quarterbacks love them a tight end.
Pause.
I do. Shucks.
Pause.
Now, I'm not a fan of Rob Gronkowski. He's a great player. I'm just not a fan of his. And remember, I've always said he owes everything in his career to the downfall of Aaron Hernandez. Because had Aaron Hernandez
is a much better athlete.
Yes, and had he not went Aaron Hernandez on us, there would be no Rob Gronkowski. But with that being said, he is a phenomenal player.
Sure.
If any of Tom's weapons go down for whatever reason, Tom is done.
Now, but he has a plethora of weapons. You got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, you got Antonio Brown.
Let AB
tight ends that never even saw the field on Thursday.
Let AB go AB.
Right. He's always one baby mama text away from ruining his season.
One bag of gummy penises throwing at your baby mama away from the folks saying, watch your head.
Right.
Mike Evans has been, just a great player. Just, he's been consistent throughout his whole career. But you got Leonard Fournette, who is often injured. Who's his backup? Yes.
His backup was Jones, and Jones had a critical fumble in that game that gave Dallas the momentum. And then we didn't see much of him the rest of the night.
Exactly. Right. So, like I said, you have those pieces to plug in, and I would hope every player on any team would get their opportunity to shine to get that. But sometimes when you put a player in who's not ready or who cannot step up, that's going to bring the whole team down. And Leftwich is doing the best job he can. Leftwich is coaching his ass off, just like Todd Bowles is.
Right. Now, I thought it was interesting that out of all of the assistant coaches that got burned last year, those are the two assistants that did not. Offensive and defensive coordinators for the number one team in the league. We're going to digress on that. Also, Tom Brady, you found out on Thursday night that Byron Leftwich, he is not the one to be yelling at on the sideline.
The one, the two, or the three.
Like he's not that dude, because it looked like he was ready to throw hands on you. Now I want to welcome Shamika Nicole, avid Dallas Cowboy fan, because she brought up a point that I missed, and she's correct. That was an offensive pass interference. They should have never been in field goal range to win that game in the final seconds. Godwin pushed that dude out of the camera like Jordan did Byron Russell in Utah in Game 6. Pushed the man completely off the screen. She's absolutely right. Dallas should be 1-0 with the biggest win of the season of the year. Let's see. Now, Brandon says, don't forget Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson, who are overshadowed by the top three. They got a ton of receivers, but if either that secondary has lost a step or Dak is the MVP this year. Because he could have dropped 500 if CeeDee Lamb didn't drop a couple of passes.
Yes.
So there we go with that. Now let's broaden our scope, since this is week 1 of the NFL season, and let's get some division winners out, shall we? We'll start in the AFC East. Who do you like? Buffalo, New England, Miami, or the Jets?
The MESS Mets. Put them down at the bottom. New England.
Who wins the division?
I'm going to toss it up between Buffalo, of course, but Miami, I like. It's KC, baby. Oh, sorry. Shouts out to Lisa Ray.
I'm sorry, that's a hit, though. Let me see you toss it up.
The late great Tupac Shakur.
Yes.
But I like what Miami did last year. I mean, technically they were in the playoffs, but of course they were not in the playoffs. I really like Miami. What is the coach? Brian Flores. I like what Flores is doing down there. But I'm gonna go with Buffalo, followed by strong Miami.
I'm gonna go in that order as well. Be on the lookout for New England, like Brandon said. I think that they can catch that 7th wild card spot if they can hide Mac Jones. We'll get into him in just a little bit. Let's move on to the AFC West. Is it Kansas City's to lose, we suppose?
Kansas City, because it's the Raiders, the Chargers. Who else is in the changed divisions from when we were children? And Broncos got the defense.
They do.
Their offense is still kind of in. So, yeah, I mean, it's Kansas City without a doubt.
I'm going Kansas City without a doubt as well. In the AFC North, we have a 3-team race. You got Pittsburgh, Baltimore, or Cleveland. Who you liking?
Cleveland looks so good.
They do. I hate them, but they do. I hate Baltimore too.
If Jadeveon Clowney plays like the Jadeveon Clowney that we were introduced to in that Citrus Bowl, unfortunately, lined up with Myles Garrett at defensive. I know Brandon's on here because he's Boomer Sooner with what's the quarterback? Whatever his name is.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I don't like Baker. I hate Baker Mayfield. But you got OBJ.
Yes, coming back. Yes.
You got what's the other one from LSU?
You got Jarvis Landry.
And then Donovan, don't you stop it. Don't you stop the music. Peoples Jones,
who came on strong at the end of last year when OBJ went down.
Yes. So Cleveland is looking, oh my God. Oh, there you go, Brandon. That's the thing. I sold on Baker. That's right.
It. That's why Baker don't have no contract. Cleveland ain't sold either.
They're not sold either. I think with Baltimore, with them having the injury, their running back tore the ACL, and was it like a cornerback or somebody tore an ACL?
3 running backs and a cornerback in a week.
Oh, wow. See, I don't know, but Pittsburgh is always have my heart. Will always have my heart because what? And that's the last show. Always bet on black. I always want to see Pittsburgh do well because they don't give up on coaches.
Right.
And they gave Omar Epps a chance. Even he hasn't been really getting to the Super Bowl, but they're still sticking with him. So I'm gonna go. It's gonna be tough between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and and TJ Watt just got all that money. That don't end up like your brother. Don't end up like your brother.
Right.
Don't end up like your brother.
Don't do that. This brother's gonna be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, if I can get in the Hall of Fame playing 3 games a season and still making all the cash, I'm gonna go with it. So I'm not mad at TJ.
So you saying JJ is living off those old defensive player of the years from like 10 years ago when Vince Young was in the league?
Because man, JJ Watt is you cannot take that talent away from.
Right. I'm a Titans fan.
You gotta get the man his credit.
Like he made his whole career off of us, making highlight plays against us. So I know what he's doing. TJ led the league in sacks. Excuse me. So I think Pittsburgh is going. I got to go with Cleveland though. They're deep. They're deep, and it's the running game, and that running game travels in the playoffs. And from what we saw them do to Pittsburgh in the playoffs last year, I'm going to go with Cleveland. I'm still not sold on Baker though, and that doesn't mean that he gets a lucrative contract extension just because they win. Let's move on to the AFC South. I'm dying to hear this. Who you got? Say it.
But in South, we love it. Oh, sorry. The Colts.
The who?
The Colts.
I need a drink. Sponsored by May James Coffee. I need to spike this drink. Hold on. And Brandon, you co-signing this foolishness? Well, no, that does it. You bring your butt on the show next week to defend yourself.
Yes, Brandon.
This is an open invitation to you, Mr. Brandon Lewis. Tell your friends, your families, your professors. Tell everybody on campus you're going to be on the Extra Point next week because you're going to have to answer for this. It's the Titans all day long.
I mean, I love King. Where's your crown? Where's your crown? Where's your crown? I definitely think King Henry has a shot at that rushing. He can do it. And I'm all for King Henry.
Shamika. Don't you start, Shamika. You're in Nashville. You can catch an Uber down to the stadium for $10. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know she got a kick out of that. It's going to be the Titans, and the King is going for 2,000 again. My God, let's move to the NFC before y'all run my pressure up. And yes, you're booked, Mr. Lewis. We can't wait to see that. So, Oklahoma, y'all better not lay no egg this week. Y'all better get it done today so he can have some flexing to do next week because we will get you in that hot seat. Now, to the NFC East. The Cowboys, of course, right? The boys? On lock? Huh? Can I get 2 on Cowboys?
I'll say by default, simply because I don't like any of the Giants quarterbacks. Daniel Jones, if he needs to be gone anyway, but
he does.
I don't even know who
was on their roster. General manager.
Right. Now Saquon is going to be coming back off of that knee injury, but you cannot run him the entire game every play. That cannot be your only option because guess what? They're going to fill up the middle when he's trying to run, and it's going to stop him. You're not going to win. And I hate to say that because one of my friends coaches for the Giants, shout out to one Mr. Anthony
Jason Garrett. You know the Garretts? Now, look, I've visited some of Tasha's friends here in Dallas. it is not outside the realm of possibility that one of them heifers out there knows the Garrett's in that big old house we went in. The fireplace looked like hell. I was like, is this where hell is? It's fireplace. This is where the sinners go. You know that man had a big old fireplace. I felt like we was Hansel and Gretel in that mug.
Leaving breadcrumbs to find our way out.
Okay, she says yes, Dallas definitely not the team with no name. That would be the one team that I think would give them problems would be Washington because of their defense. I think defensively they match up better, but with Dallas's own defense looking way better than they looked last year, they forced 4 turnovers. Well, really 3. That Hail Mary in the end zone I won't count as a Dallas turnover. That was more of just Brady just hurling the ball. But still, that's a lot of turnovers. Dallas gets it done.
Yeah, Dallas, because again, the Eagles, they're too. First of all, why is Flacco still in the league?
Just like how Tony Romo was still in the league, he had them pictures on the owner.
With the GOAT, they got to. They got to. Jeff Lurie,
the greatest of all time GOAT, the Billy GOAT.
Right, Jeff Lurie, you need to tell us.
Right. Now, Dan Quinn is a great defensive coordinator and a great pickup. He might have been their biggest pickup in the offseason because last year they were just absolutely atrocious on defense. NFC West, let's go to your backyard. San Fran. You got the Rams. You got Seattle. You got Arizona.
San Francisco.
Well, why?
I said what I said.
Okay. All right, I got you. They're definitely going to come out 1-0 because they got Detroit tomorrow. But I'm going with the Rams. And the only reason why I'm going with the Rams is because San Francisco is playing around with the quarterback position. Stop playing around. Get Trey, the Bay Area out there now.
This is the thing. What's going to be embarrassing is when you have to pull Jimmy Garoppolo from the starting quarterback, but y'all done named that man a captain.
You know what? We're going to get right into that. And Brandon Lewis says Seattle. So you still on the Russell Wilson train, huh? I think Sierra done jinxed him with all that good loving. The man is getting too much good loving to be hungry on the field anymore.
I mean, until somebody other than the team, other than Seattle, stops Russell, upper management, coaching.
Right.
But then he's still top notch.
Although he that's his own fault if he wouldn't have threw that interception to in the Super Bowl. Just quarterback sneak it if you wanted to steal all the glory. We're gonna digress on that. But Seattle, they're gonna still be in the mix.
I mean, and the Cardinals, the Cardinals will be kind of, Cardinals will be
I'm rooting
okay.
for the Cardinals because I'm rooting for Kyler Murray. I like his game, and I've always liked DeAndre Hopkins. Now that he's out of the AFC, thank God, because he was a Titans killer as well. The NFC North is the Green Bay's to lose. You got Chicago,
Green Bay.
Got Minnesota. Yeah, Green Bay. Let's keep rolling. And in the South, Tampa Bay's to lose. Got Tampa Bay.
I like New Orleans, but the fact that I want to root for Jameis.
Jameis can redo what's been done by Spray On. You see Spray On Thursday. You see Drew Brees with the new Afro cut with the new tape up fade. I didn't know they had Beijing for the other side.
Baby.
He had a crispy one.
He had a low cut Caesar with the deep waves, the white man version of it.
He was clean.
He was clean. He was clean.
Got a little man weave up there.
But yeah, I mean, more than likely it'll be Tampa. I'm just rooting for stop. I'm just rooting for New Orleans because I want Jameis to have a little bit of redemption. I mean, he acted a fool, as we all acted a fool when we were in college and did a lot of things. But I kind of want him to get a little bit of redemption.
Free tacos. Right, I gave away free tacos in college when I worked at Taco Bell. So I mean, I can't bang on him for a Burger King soda. I would have gave it to him too. Paying me $5 an hour. But anyway, now this is one of the awards that usually goes unnoticed by the NFL until this year because there's such star power in the category, and that's Comeback Player of the Year. I'm about to rattle off some names that are making their return this year. We already saw Dak that put himself in the catbird seat with a 400-yard performance after missing most of last year. We also have Run CMC, Mr. Christian McCaffrey coming back this year. We got Joe Burrow coming back. We got Nick Bosa coming back. We got OBJ and we got Saquon. All set to return this year. All should be heavily counted on by their teams. Who do you think will be the comeback player of the year out of those names?
If Dak continues to perform at this level, it will be him. Joe Burrow won't get it simply because Cincinnati is terrible and they won't do anything.
Okay.
OBJ, because there's so much more around him, he won't get the credit. Again, the same thing with Saquon is with Joe Burrow. You're on a team that's not going to go anywhere, not going to do anything. So I don't think he's going to be able to perform at his highest. Same thing with McCaffrey. I mean, so I mean, it's literally Dak's to lose, and I would hate for somebody like OBJ not to get it, but he has so much around him.
Right. He would have to do something Randy Moss-like, and that's just not the way their team is built.
Right.
To give him 1,600 yards receiving, not with Chubb and Hunt in the backfield and all the other weapons that they have. There's only one ball, and it seems like it'd be impossible for him to get those kind of touches. I'm going with Dak on that as well. Saquon can make a case, but here's my problem with Saquon, and it's not even with him personally. It's Dave Gettleman. The same thing what you was talking about with Russell. They took Saquon number 2 in a draft that had the quarter Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. You would have been fixed at quarterback if you wouldn't have went got a running back. Who gets a running back with the 2nd overall pick? This ain't fantasy football. Let me digress. Before that injury, Saquon was barreling through like a steam engine locomotive. I mean, he was Thomas the Train. I think I can. Looking ass. Right. Oh, Quad City DJs with them big old quads. That's why they always turn up. Come and ride the train and ride it. Choo choo. Okay. All right. Now, Tasha, it's time for us to play this season's first rendition of Hang in There or Have a Seat. Now, we're going to do this the quarterback edition this week. Now, I'm going to throw some quarterback names out there to you, and you tell me, should they hang in there, or is it time for them to go ahead and have a seat, whether it be on the bench or whether it be on the pond of life. Just get on out the league. Let's start with Cam Newton. Hang in there, Cam, or have a seat, Cam?
I would say hang in there only if he gets his mentals and get everything else together. I mean, he's what, 32, 33 years old.
But he's old 32. Brandon says have a seat.
Because he has a lot of miles on him. But Cam, for some reason, I've always thought he's looked at playing in the NFL as a game. I never really thought he said, let me take this serious until that MVP. But then everything after that has just fallen off. But I think there's still some potential in him. He's better than a lot of the quarterbacks that are on rosters now. So that's the only reason I'm going to say let him hang in there.
He said it messed up when he did that twist in his fashion. I'm gonna say he messed it up when he didn't roll up his sleeve and get that jab in that arm. But he talking about his fashion.
I mean, when he started wearing those Euro cuts and that man's quads as big as both of mine put together, that's my pet peeve is these big ass 6'4", 250, 260 athletes wearing these damn Euro cut suits that stop at the ankle. Right. And then have the nerve to slide your ashy feet into some dress shoes with no socks on. And then he walking around here looking, I ain't got a scarf or anything, looking like Zsa Zsa Gabor with his head all tied up. Looking like Grace Kelly. Looking like Medea. Tell the truth. Looking like Medea. Those head wraps and wearing the buffalo, the hat, you ain't for real. Hold up. Denise she just dropped a hot one. His mentals are right. He is on a spiritual, nonchalant level. And that's why his ass ain't. That's why his ass ain't in the league. The being nonchalant. I don't have a problem with you being spiritual, especially now, like what is his name? It's on the tip with the Skittles. What's it? We talk about him all the time. Seattle running back. Like Marshawn, he always talks about getting this together, with your spirit, everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's that nonchalantness is why his ass ain't in the league.
And I think maybe that the nonchalantness, especially when you're playing for an organization like the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick don't have time for nonchalant. Bill Belichick is like, you need to show some urgency because I let the GOAT walk and he went and took a 7-9 team to the Super Bowl. So I need my quarterback to have that kind of focus. So being unvaccinated, I think it's going to be hard for him to land on the team. And we're not even going to go into the you should get vaccinated or should not get vaccinated. I'm just saying if you're a general manager and you're looking to bring in a backup, an unvaccinated player does pose more of a risk to your locker room than a vaccinated player. Then you got to go quarantine him for 10 days, and then he can't be around the team. How does he learn the playbook? I just think that he put himself in a terrible position to land on the squad this year. Now, Denise says, but he's okay without being in the league. Okay, I think that's where we are with that. And I think that's why he should have a seat. He's made the money. He's as famous as he's ever going to be. And he can ride off into the sunset saying he went number one. He went to a Super Bowl. He went MVP.
Won a Heisman.
He won a Heisman. Got him a nice little HP laptop down there in Gainesville. He probably still got it under the bed. It's his porn laptop now.
How do I cut this off?
He got a nice little free one with the
there
printer.
There we go. It's furled. No more show today.
That's Cam's ankle. Look, I got a couple more questions for you, T. Sizzle. Got a couple more questions for you. All right. Last week, you got right here before these people, and you had I'm going to call it audacity, because this was a bold prediction in my opinion. You had the audacity to pick Georgia over Clemson, and I'll be damned if Georgia didn't go out there and pitch a no-hitter. They went out there and drugged that old Luther the King's team up and down the field offensively, beat they butt, and now Clemson is looking up at the standings like, how the hell do we get back in the 4? You couple that with the fact that Florida State lost, North Carolina lost, Georgia Tech lost. Hell, we can go all the way down to ACC. All of them lost. Is Clemson done? Did week 1 bury Clemson from the national title chase, in your opinion? Again,
I'm going to say no. Mike and I said that last week.
Even now, still no, huh?
Because, again, what are the divisions, the conferences that they look at? SEC, Big Ten, ACC. Those are the top 3 conferences that they look at when it comes time for the national championship. Who are you going to get to represent you from the ACC?
Now, Brandon says the Hokies out of Blacksburg, which they did get a win, but it came at the expense of the 10th ranked team in the country, who's also in the ACC in North Carolina. Now, that was a huge win for them. Maybe they can steamroll that and be a one-loss team at the end of the year. But does Clemson even play them this year? I have to look that up and see. But
Virginia Tech does not bring the viewers, and it's not going to bring that money when it comes time.
Not without Michael Vick, right. Not without Michael Vick on the team, that you're not. Now, back to hang in there, have a seat. There was a couple of quarterbacks I left off the list. Let's go with Andy Dalton. Now, Justin Fields had a great preseason, but yet he's not the starter week 1. Andy Dalton, hang in there, have a seat, Andy.
I want Andy to have a seat. I'm tired of Andy. You had your shot in Cincinnati. You had great weapons. And y'all not, first of all, what y'all not going to do is keep putting that on my coach. Y'all not going to keep blaming Marvin Lewis for Cincinnati's downfall. That's what you're not going to do.
They were making the playoffs with Vontaze Burfict and all of them cats.
I mean, Vontaze Burfict went Vontaze Burfict on us. So, it ain't much we can do. But Andy Dalton, you served your purpose. You're done. But I have a problem with that. And I think you brought this up. You were talking about Willie Beeman. Why is it that these older quarterbacks never want to sit down, just like in any given Sunday? Now, we know his wife was pushing him in any given Sunday because he eventually made the right choice because he knew he was screwed up. He was hurt.
Right.
These older quarterbacks never want to sit down.
Right.
And that bothers me.
Right.
I mean, Justin Fields should be okay. I understand you may say, let me put him out there, first 1 or 2 games. But Justin Fields needs to be the starting quarterback. That's just point blank, period.
If you Chicago, you don't have 1 or 2 games to play around with no damn Andy Dalton. You in a
Nope.
stacked NFC where San Francisco is looking to rebound and make the playoffs. The whole NFC West is stacked. Say what you want about the NFC East, but Dallas and Washington look strong. You got the South with Tampa Bay already locked in. Like, you don't have enough wiggle room to be playing around with no damn Andy Dalton. He needs to have a seat. And last but certainly not least, your backyard, Jimmy G. He's starting over the Trey area.
I want Jimmy G gone. I wanted him gone last year.
You still mad at him for that overthrow in the Super Bowl? Too soon.
And one of the bars down here, we were just on the strip, just hanging out, and they actually had that game playing, and it made me so mad. I said, if they don't turn this issue
y'all
off.
had that game won.
But again, look who our coach was, and look at what he did to the Falcons. Come on now.
You know what? Now, that's how you tie it together and make a nice little knot. You're absolutely right there. You're absolutely right. Okay, so we got that done. So now it's time for T. Sizzle's hot picks. And ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't know what teams that I'm going to tell her. I'll never tell her before the show because it got to come out of her spirit.
Clemson does not play Virginia Tech this year.
So Virginia Tech, I'm sorry, Clemson. I think y'all out of here. Unless Georgia drops 2 or 3 games in the regular season, we're going to holler at you, Dabo. Now let's start with today's action. In about an hour on Fox, we have a ranked matchup between the Oregon Ducks and Ohio. The Cats from Fitzwater, USA. Who you taking?
Of course, I'm going to go for Oregon.
Right, but who are you picking if you had to go to Vegas with your money, with your rent, with your mortgage?
I'm not going to.
Right. So we're taking Ohio State. Now, would you take Ohio State with the 14.5? Do you think they cover the 14 points? They just barely did last week against Minnesota.
I know. And, to be honest, Paul, I really do like Oregon, to be honest. I'm not just saying that because of the hate.
That speed, that West Coast speed, just like that's something a little bit different. I'm looking forward to watching that game. I really am. So she's going with Oregon. Y'all take Oregon and a point. Iowa versus Iowa State today, 3:30 ESPN. Both teams are ranked for the first time in forever. Who you taking?
Iowa, I hear you. Iowa, I hear you. That's AIWA. Remember the speaker commercial back in the day. But I'm going to go for the Hawkeyes of Iowa, not the Cyclones of Iowa State.
That's going to be a great game as well. My inner Michigan is rooting for Iowa State so we can knock any L's on the Big Ten that we can outside of Michigan. But that's going to be worth watching. Speaking of, under the lights tonight, primetime ABC, don't need no cable, don't need no nothing. The University of Michigan hosts the University of Washington. T. Sizzle, who you rolling with in the maze out? I need that hat too, by the way.
And it's a Jordan. Where my J at? It's on the back.
I need to make me a jump man. Let me put my jump man right here. I got the. See, Tasha get all the newest stuff, but I got my maze ready for tonight. We got Michigan go blue. All right, on to Sunday's action in the NFL. Buffalo at Pittsburgh should be a fist fight. Who you got in that one?
I'm going to go for Pittsburgh simply because if TJ Watt did not show up and show out and get a couple of sacks, I'm going to need him to return some of that money.
Okay, all right. Chicago at the Rams on Sunday Night Football. Who do you have?
Chicago. The Bears.
Yeah, really? Okay, all right. And to start things off in Nashville, we have Arizona. The Fighting Cardinals coming in to take on the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee's a 3-point favorite. Who you got?
Let's see. You got AJ Green. You got Kyler Murray. You got D-Hop.
But on the other side, you got AJ Green. You got Julio Jones.
Oh, I'm going with the Titans.
All right, she's going with the Titans. And last but certainly not least, tonight in Orange Mound in one time, We got Eddie George versus Deion Sanders. We got TSU versus JSU in the Heritage Classic down in Memphis. Who you got, T Sizzle?
Straight from the underground, fat boy from the mound. Get it how I live it, keep it good. That's how we get down. Come on, 8-Ball. You see?
Hey, but wait a minute. But both teams are gonna be in Memphis. So who you got? You got TSU or you got JSU? Okay,
Of course, I'm going for the Big Blue. Come on,
the
now.
Big Blue. Can anybody tell me if that game is on TV tonight? Because I'm sure it's gonna start at 6.
Yeah, it starts at 6. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look that up so I can see if I can track that.
I mean, with Deion talking, it may be on the main ESPN.
Right. Wait, Deion get down. It's gonna be on CBS.
Now, Deion, you know you going to the mound. Don't take no bag full of goodies. Now,
you know what, Deion, leave your bag. Good point. Leave your bag at home, Deion, because you going to first 48U. They got a whole season from Memphis. Ain't solved the crime yet.
That's it. How do I get this to stay up here permanently? I'm not doing your little show anymore. I'm not doing it.
You notice how they in the Memphis ones, they always have that disclaimer. If you know anybody that knows any information, please call. They don't never saw them crimes.
I'm not doing this.
Criminals.
Find you a new co-host. I can't do it.
There is no new co-host.
I can't do it.
Come on now, we cornflake in the milk. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we want to wish you all a great weekend of foosball. Me and Tasha both got to run and get us some vittles so we have something to eat while we watch these games today. So I'm gonna have to slide on in these slippers and head to Wally World and get my weekend vittles. T Sizzle, you got any signing off comments?
Yes, I do. I'd like to send a shout out to my little niecey poo. Her name is Jalen. She is a cheerleader at LSU. This is her first official game on the field because last year, with the COVID, the cheerleaders only got to do, certain games. So she didn't get the full experience of being on the field. She didn't get to do the tiger walk. She didn't get to run on the field and tumble and all of that. Her mother is ecstatic. Ingrid, my friend Ingrid, that lives in Dallas. Yeah. They're actually on the road now, driving to LSU so they can cheer on their little baby. So shouts out to my little baby Jay.
They got McNeese State tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay, that should be a victory down there in Death Valley. Should be. And for me, all I'm going to say is, Michigan, you know what to do. Go blue under the lights. Let's go ahead and make it 2-0. And everybody back home in Nashville, tighten up. We will see y'all next week with Mr. Brandon Lewis. Peace.